All right, welcome everybody. Derek Freund, we are family. Appreciate the sound engineer, timing, the jam of what we're doing here. Campaigns that drive action. You are in the right place at the right time with the right people because never a time nor a place in all of recorded history has there been an event like this with people assembled to discuss this important topic. So, don't handle it lightly. Uh, my name is Derek Freund. Rogue Marketing Systems is my business. This presentation is for Constant Contact. I've been a marketing consultant, outsourced chief marketing officer for approximately 20 years now. I've spoken for Constant Contact since 2010. If you are not familiar, we are a third-party online software that sends email blasts. If you send email communications properly sent, if you send more communications to more than 2 or 3 people, you need a third-party source to do that. There are others. This information is good for most any campaign, but we feel we have a very unique spot, or the company that I represent as a speaker and as a authorized local expert. And I'm one of, I don't know, 150 or something master certified people in the country. I'm not particularly technical, but if I can learn this, you can too. Important message here is to surround yourself with those who are on the same mission. Do not feel like you're working alone, that you don't have cheerleaders, support networks, experts, and people who are around to help you in business. My producer wanted me to mention we have another webinar called The Reckoning. That is not specifically on email marketing, but if you are an entrepreneur looking to market yourself, please check out roguemarketing.com. I think you will find that of interest. And if you don't, that's fine too. There we go again. Today, you will have the opportunity to forever change the way you think and profit about marketing. You know, there's a couple things with marketing. There's technical issues, what I call plumbing or architecture. Are things connected? Are communications flowing properly? Are they understood correctly in terms of a campaign isn't a one-time campaign. The suggestion is there's a sequence of events. So there's a right and a wrong way to sequencing that, and none of this comes intuitively. So, and then there's the creative part. How do you expand this to grow your business, to make more money, to help more people? And I really hope you are passionate about what you do. I've written several books, co-authored others. We have a free download on our website for this one here, The Ultimate Success Secret. I think also the Book of Marketing. Happy to, as a participant, if you email, happy to give you whatever we have. I come from an athletic and a fitness background. This is at a CrossFit competition. This is where, you know, the exercise, physical, you know, teamwork. And I have an advantage of the younger people I'm older. I have twice the experience that they have, and I'm willing to work hard. They're all great people. I have been asked occasionally, and I believe everybody has to earn their wings and their ability. And one time, an old guy who had been a professional sales trainer, who I really respect that field, he said, Derek, why should I listen to you about new and different strategies for multiplying my sales and profits in my business? And that's a very good question. There's a lot of pseudo experts out there and people who claim they know it all. Believe me, this is a moving target. If you know everything today, tomorrow there will be some changes that occur. I am a professional speaker. I've been doing this for about 20 years, publicly speaking, online. I want to treat this as if this were a one-on-one personal session, just working with you, even though we have many, many people on here. Half the people probably have heard me, I know, have heard me before and are repeat. They're either training to be do-it-yourself marketers, or they're at some level of our Chief Marketing Officer program. And so what I do is I actually apply this in the world, real world, not for my business, not in a classroom setting, but in the real world. And if it didn't work, people would eat my lunch real quick. Been published in Inc. magazine, USA Today, Business Week. These concepts work. They work every day. The principles of direct response are universal, and you will begin to recognize the formulas as we show them to you and as you apply them in your business. Here's a bit of my story, and And by the way, marketing, there's very few things about it that are intuitive at all or creating events. There's what the public sees, and there's the glamour of the campaign, and then there's what happens behind the scenes. This black and white picture. Somebody sometimes said, "Wow, there's color pictures." I graduated from high school in 1985, college, an advanced degree in 1991. There was full color pictures then. That was just from a black and white newsletter. This is about 20 years ago when I started this business in the basement of, I think, our second home, and those kids have grown up. Plus, there's been one more added to that. Mentors and motivators. Every time I take the stage or turn on the screen here, I am inspired. I have had probably 5 or 6 incredible workshops, presentations, sermons that I've been to that have changed my life. They've all been good, but I always want to be that guy. I want to be the person that somebody goes, man, that forever changed my life. I mean, I've become a co-author with 2 of the people I've met. I've gone into business with others. It's had hundreds of clients. I've mentored others. I've been mentored by them. It's a wonderful opportunity to meet people, and I hope you carry on with us and you're able to carry the torch and move on. Ron Cates, who is one of the incredible grandfathers of email marketing and social media pioneer, recruited me into this. We shared the stage on a speaking gig, and I was really impressed with the whole thing, and I wanted to embrace digital online marketing. That was in 2010, which was relatively late in life for me, not too late for anybody. But he looked at me and says, Derek, you can do this. And I went, just with his credibility and his confidence, I believed him. And Ron, you were right. Thank you. Today, I want to promise a guarantee. This is not a sales pitch. You will have the opportunity if you want to buy something, but that's not the point. The free guarantee is, so don't devalue it, is that during my presentation, and you will have the opportunity over the next 30 days to receive over $300 worth of applied resources. That's not just, yeah, we can say, hey, go to our website and watch this webinar, but this is an opportunity to talk to me one-on-one, ask the tough questions. We're going to cover everything that's universally applicable, but oftentimes specific opportunities, specific problems need specific answers. And to go to an FAQ, frequently asked questions or whatever, there can be problems or wondering where to go. So that's a guarantee. Hold me to that. Make a note of that. We're going to be less than an hour today. If we were to take our time, it would probably be a 3-hour presentation. So we understand the public has some short attention spans, so we are going to clip along very fast. Please consider yourself and be a marketer. Important for you to know there's 3 components to my business. I am an outsourced chief marketing officer. That's where I communicate directly with the CEO or a vice president of sales type person in an organization, but oversee all areas of lead generation, client engagement, presentation, closing of sale, follow-up, continuous support, content development, etc. In other instances, we provide low-cost, do-it-yourself templates where we create a template where the plumbing, the linkage, the principles are all correct, and then a person is able to start implementing those on their own. And then we train people to be independent do-it-yourself marketers. And that is your job right now, is to be, I am my own chief marketing officer. And Derek here is to help. So there's now the power of the two of us, but the collective group of being a marketer. What are campaigns? Well, a campaign is an opportunity where you push your content. That's your idea. That would be, look, there's no bad media, so I don't want to knock billboards. We're not doing billboards. That would be like setting up a billboard, running a newspaper ad, printing flyers, brochures, take-one cards, or whatever. Here, we're talking about sending out an email invitation, posting to social media, putting information on your website's blog, sharing social, asking your clients. But there's pushing the content out there and then pulling a response. So you create a magnet, like a lead generating magnet or for magnetic marketing. And then you want to be able to pull responses in the right place at the right time. Now there's some different types of events that you can have. Um, Fundraisers and galas. I'm a big proponent and I teach principles of TQM or total quality management. And that's where we cross-pollinate in information across. I've worked with over 156 different businesses, so it's given me a broad perspective to bring new ideas. So fundraisers and galas, dances, charitable events are very good lessons. That same type of principles can be directed over to business events, conference, entertainers, educational moments, workshops and classes. There's hardly a business out there that cannot be made better by offering educational material. How do you use and consume material better? Even obscure businesses that you wouldn't think. A carpet cleaner can educate his or her customer by saying, here's how to reduce 80% of the dirt, traffic, mud, water, etc. in your home or business, and let's put a throw rug out there. Because when people come in, or like horses, we start, sorry if I'm bouncing the camera, we start pounding our feet, we wipe our feet. Somebody would say, well, that's going to reduce carpet cleaning. Look, it's a nice thing to do. It's a better way to educate. Just like good doctors should want people to be healthy, good lawyers should want to keep people out of legal problems, etc. So education is important. Network and gatherings. These can be live, by the way, any of these, or they can be digital live events like we're conducting now, and later perhaps recorded and repurposed, all or in parts. Seminars or lectures. Consider how you doing that. You do these. Here's another just cross-pollination of ideas that popped into my mind. Over my career, I've worked with a lot of real estate agents. Open houses can become important events. Usually they're held on Sunday, early afternoon. But I also at one time marketed to all the Harley Davidson dealerships in America. There was 836 of them. Well, they also had open houses, but they were open houses, barbecue, drive-in event. People would embroider leather jackets. So they had a look and a feel similar to a real estate open house with pointers and balloons and events, things for grown-ups and children to do, food to eat. It's a cross-pollination of ideas, a picnic, an open house. And when you're selling $20,000, $30,000 motorcycles, $400 and $500 leather jackets, it's a good business model. So why run an event? Well, they're good. They have deadlines. They have events. They have demonstration opportunities. Event promotion, how do you do that? Why use online registration? Because if you don't, you go nuts. Oh my gosh. Occasionally people say, well, you go, how do you register people? Well, people call us, people text us, people leave voicemails, they send us emails, and you try, I mean, for more than like 5 people, that becomes a full-time job and confirm. So do online registration, please. It's not that hard and you'll save yourself time, energy, money. Post-event actions and follow-up. Here's the other thing. Think of I don't have a slide for this, but think of a triangle. If you have an event or a campaign, there's the event itself, but then there's everything you do beforehand, the preparations, setting the date, the agenda, who you invite, inviting people, follow up, confirming, etc. And then and then you have the big event. And then the third and equally, if not more important component is the follow up. So some people, do great promotions, great event, and then there's no follow up. You got to do the follow up. And then the next steps. So also, we didn't advertise this. Don't know that we did. I'm going to go through these slides real fast. Ask us. We'll gladly give you a digital PDF or whatever of this entire presentation. So if I go through something fast, it's not because I'm a fast talker and I don't want you to know the facts. It's just in the interest of time. Then go back either with us or independently the slides. Why run an event? Well, to raise money. To raise money or drive purchases. Create engagement. Is there an experience? Is there a program? Schools have events every day. Churches have events every Saturday, Sunday, and typically throughout the week too. There's engagement. There's communication. Celebrate milestones, anniversaries, seasonal events, marriages. I mean, there's any number of things. Reward loyalty. Great way to recognize your best donors, benefactors, customers. VIP advocates, champions. Recognize those people. It's good to do that as one human being to another. It also tends to be very, very good for business. To grow your list, you can only sell as much as you have prospects. I've seen people occasionally where you say, "What's your goal?" And, "Well, I want to double my business next year." And I'll say, "Okay, great. What's your prospect list?" And they'll show me, or they'll tell me about their prospect list. And I said, "Well, you've been working at this a while?" And they'll say, "Yes." I said, "Well, do you now have double or triple the size of your prospect list?" And they say, "No." And I go, "Well, how are you, if we went back in our great grandfather's time, they said, 'Well, I want to double my harvest.' And you say, 'Well, where's your bigger farm?' You go, 'Well, I don't have a bigger." Well, really, maybe some better strategies and stuff, but I mean, so much land, so many prospects, you can only get so much business. So think about growing your universe, your prospect list. And then educate. Sorry if I skipped over that. So what is the wow experience? Can you provide a wow experience to show people how they can use your products or services better? Entice them to stay in touch. What's the contact, the communications that are going on? Excuse me, take a break. Get a sip of coffee or water here. Go ahead, I'll wait. Oh, good. My daughter gave me this mug. That's pretty close, isn't it? Huh? Okay, seriously, back to work. So we want to entice and stay in contact with people on a regular basis. Engage, involvement, showing up for an event, communicating with you, your staff, and engagement drives social visibility. Um, New prospects, and don't be afraid to charge for an event. Uh, People, there's a real delicate for balance. Certainly, by charging for an event, people are more likely to show up. They brag about it. There's times for either or. Uh, you can charge for the event. There may be a date and time conflict. You want to look at others or location or cost. Uh, 29%, 50-50 is depending on the event or the location. 29% is the other. These are the decision-making processes. It's not price. So if you have a good location that people can, and that doesn't have to be like a high rent district, but something that makes sense or is on their way home or within their community, that's the most important decision. 29 is other, like if there's a rain or storm, you're battling some natural elements. Location is the next one, and cost is really the fourth priority in terms of real decision for people to show up. Now, promoting the event, here's what you want to consider. So what is your event date? What is this timing here? Is this at the ending of a quarter? Is this around an event, or excuse me, a birthday, an anniversary, a holiday? What is the prospective date for this? Um, a Christmas holiday, you don't, business-wise, you don't have that on the 24th or the 25th. A New Year's event, New Year's is probably not on New Year's Day itself. Some stores and retails and everything, but you give that some serious thought in terms of what is the date. You can also have multiple dates or multiple times. You can have an AM session, a PM session. That is not unusual in business at all. Create a buzz 5 or 6 weeks in advance. If this is a destination, a seminar event, they're thought of 6 months or a year ahead of time, but 5 or 6 weeks ahead of time, a buzz saying, look for the registration. There's an open opportunity. There's an early bird discount. Schedule this. Some local events can occur with 4 or 5 days notice. So because you're not talking about printing cost or maybe inviting in entertainment, measure and scale that. But a healthy rule of thumb, a best practice, is create a buzz, start posting on social media, send out emails, start letting your staff know 5 or 6 weeks in advance. To maximize your attendance, 2 weeks out from the event, you want to have the registration opportunities. Give attendees time for planning, booking, travel, donations. Feature the event and the registration anywhere and everywhere that you can. With the digital media, that link, there's half a master's degree in digital communication. Take your event link, in your Constant Contact or whatever software you're using. But here, take that event link, copy it, and then paste that. That goes in your emails. It goes in your blog post. It goes in your Facebook page. It goes in the share. When somebody shares your information and they put that on their website or forward an email, that link stays there. That is your lifeline, umbilical cord, vein, artery, whatever you want to call it, connection to the rest of the world. So use that throughout your communication. Otherwise, that's like having a phone that's unplugged. It's like having a mailbox that doesn't accept mail. Feature the event registration on your webpage. Put it in print media. Very, very good way to do that. Give them the direct link there. If you have your website, that's great. Also, there's a way to have a shortened URL where you hit, I don't want to call it a tiny URL because that's actually a mechanism you can use, but within Constant Contact, it will say like ctct.bcq or whatever, but it's a shortened .com, and that will direct people directly to your link from a printed media. If you have a newsletter, leverage it in a newsletter. This includes print, this includes postcards. Share that and remember to highlight the information to create that buzz. Within your emails themselves, you have the link, you also have the registration. I'm a huge believer. Have a map. Have a map. I don't care if it's in a town that's 100 years old and you've been there 150 years old, 150 years. Do not assume everybody knows your location or that every one of their guests or people or caterers or whatever will know where that is. Include the map. Nowadays, there's no excuse to not have the digital link to the Google map or whoever you use. By the way, you're walked right through this in our event module. So don't neglect that or assume. Teacher years ago in 8th grade, it made me chuckle because he said ass. He said never assume because it makes an ass, A-S-S-U, and then slash out of you and me, assume. Ass, you, and me. If you do that, I chuckled because he said that. Very, very good point. So you're almost there. You send out the emails. You provide tickets and confirmation. Again, your email system can provide a ticket mechanism, a reminder on your homepage, and they can also confirm if they're allowed to bring 1 guest, 2 guests, 3, paid for, not. Oh, it's cool. You can put your PayPal account or merchant account for people to put a deposit down. We can talk offline about that depending on on the nature of your business, but it's a great way to do that. It's respectful. It reduces your need for collecting cash or money at the event. So, and it's never been easier than it is today to do that. The online registration is convenient. It's green friendly. There's offline tools. Attendees are registered directly by phone invitation, and they're RSVP on site, so you can send them the link. The online tools, attendees register directly, and the registration is set up with your complete management tools, and it's integrated. You don't have to pay a programmer to do that. It just happens. 50% of invitees receiving paper invitations expect an email invitation. It's kind of a standard procedure. Here we get this, and then they expect the email. Or they expect, and there's exceptions to this rule, but if they get a printed invite, they can go online. For some people, that's actually less stressful. You may be different personally, but it's less stressful for them to go online and register and fill in the information than to call, let it ring, either get voicemail, wait for somebody to pick up, and go through the answers. Just here, here's how to spell Derek. Here's how to spell this. Here's how to do that. And understand that. It also, you are not paying somebody's time and energy to do that. The simple beauty of online registration is it keeps it all the information in one place. It keeps it all the information there, the contacts, the follow-up, one place, one time. It also makes your follow-up that much easier. You have now this is graphic design, but whether we do this for you or you do it yourself, follow the principles here. Use your same logo. Don't reinvent the wheel. Use your same color. Use ColorCop to make sure that, or any matching tool, If you need to match colors, you visit free resources at our website. Color Cop is a free tool where it's an eyedropper, and you can go and if that color is magenta or pink, whatever you want to call it, you can match that color or your shade of blue, brown, etc., so that it looks exactly like you do your corporate logo, visitation, uh, 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 invite, compelling message for attendance, and also have a very, very compelling subject line. We have one coming up, and it's about, you're invited to the award ceremony, 5 days left, a deadline, a call to action. Do's and don'ts for registration. Does that look exciting? Okay. Post registration form. No, it looks boring. It doesn't look exciting. Does this look easy? There's a thing called internet fatigue or email fatigue where it's like, okay, you got to put this information. You go to another page, you get another. We respect there's a certain amount of contact information that you need to have, or maybe you don't have, let's say you just have somebody's email, but you don't have their first name and last name. Well, this is another great opportunity to fulfill your list and get information. But after 5, 6, 7 pieces of information, the fatigue and the drop off, people say, the heck with it, I won't go, or I'll do it later. Doing it later may never ever happen. So put the event in there, a brief description and simple fields. So, here's my name, here's my email. I'll be attending the 7 o'clock session. I have one guest. Her name is this, and collect it, make it fun. They don't have to print it out, fill it out, scan it, email it back to you. It's not good. Do you know it is? Have a description of the event, what you should collect. Demographics and information. So who's attending? Obviously their name. There may be a description. Is it Dr., Mr., Ms.? Number of guests they may have. Session option. Do they want a bonus? If there's a method of payment, event-specific information, is there a seating chart? Is there a menu of services? Is there an agenda that you're going to have? You don't have to use all these. It's just information that it can become very, very valuable for you. Payment method, again, PayPal is a great one. There was a time when that was like for small businesses and not larger, but now small can do it and big organizations, and people trust it. But if you already have a merchant account and you're using that, that's fantastic. What's the accessibility? Is it wheelchair friendly? Is there locations? Are there elevators? Is there instructions about maybe where they should drive? Sometimes I've had events at hotels or venues, and you need to explain that the main conference room may actually be on the back side of the building. So park on the north side of the building so they're not coming in and maybe wandering a quarter of a mile to get to where your conference hall is. Give them that. Is there a meal giveaway, or do they want steak, or do they want chicken? If you've organized any of these type of events, you can see how much easier this can make your life to do that. If they're getting a t-shirt, is it small, medium, large, extra large? Do they have food allergies or restrictions? Vegetarian, non-GM, non-gluten. Some of you may laugh, but this is a reality of doing business in 2016 and beyond. Emergency contact information. Obviously, this is super important if you're working with underage people or minors. Leading questions, child's school that they attend, college and graduation that they have. Data in, is there badge information, client appreciation, meeting conferences. This can become very, very confusing. You want to be able to make it user friendly. If you can, have them check boxes as opposed to writing in. If you have, let's say, an accounting session, a marketing session, a best practices session, rather than expecting people to write that in, have them check off the right boxes, because heaven knows, what if they get it wrong? Have, open-ended questions can lead to that. So good data in, bad data in, good data out. Rewind that, erase that. I'm joking, not to the sound engineer. Bad data in, bad data out. You all understood what I was saying. Good data in, This is the thing about the multiple choice, yes, no, check the specific boxes. It also makes it far easier for you to read and interpret. So take an extra, ask a better question and you will get a better answer. So take a look at this here. Um, would you like to, get a complimentary guest pass? Would you, choose a date or a time? And then these are drop-down menus here that you can use. That thing's not activated right now, but you'll see how you can do that. Good Data will provide this, so you can see over here, you have the yeses and you have the no's. Those can be all tabulated here. And then what they're having for dinner. I won't start moving that around. I know that always moves. It drives me crazy. I attend some of these events and these people who do too many presentations and they go, okay, you see here, 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 and then you have here, 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 and you go. So it's all there. Look at it in your own time. Good data in, good data out. Test it on yourself. Take a look at the example, find a coworker or a family member or something and say, Bob, Jean, Roberta, Wanda, whoever, let me send this to you and fill this out. I usually like to put my name, Derek Test, so that I remember that in the future, and anybody who sees that, it doesn't count that as live data, but fill in all the information and go through the walk in the process just as your prospect or client or tenant or whoever would be doing, because otherwise you can find things that can just shoot yourself in the foot. Check that it's clear and simple, free of typos, and considerate of time. There's that internet fatigue. Get the information you need, but know when to stop. Once you have the information, make sure, really important, give them instructions to click done or submit, continue, so that it activates. Because if somebody just fills out the information and they don't hit the enter bar or the finish or I'm done or submit, it's not activated. It's like going to a voting booth and not putting the ballot. That's it, the ballot. It's not going to count. So make sure that, it's like getting your bank stub ready with a check and then not bringing it to the bank. It doesn't happen. Show the information. Then this is nice here, the confirmation email that they get here where it shows the location. What I really, really like is when it says add to your calendar. So if you have Outlook or a Google Calendar, when you say add this to my calendar, it's fantastic. It adds it to the calendar. So if it's an event that's at 9:30 in the morning, maybe a webinar, or it's a 7 o'clock awards ceremony on a Thursday or Friday, it says when it's at, where it's at, a map to the link. It makes everybody's life that much easier. More details here. You can also offer to show other people, who is showing. There's pros and cons to showing this. When the first registrants come in, it doesn't show anybody, but there's social proof as people can see who else is attending. They go, oh, they're going to be here and they're going to be here. And the more people attend, you tend to get the steamroll and the momentum going. So share that information here. If there's a description here, they can check the box off if they don't want to continue receiving information from you. It's fair to play that way. Most people leave the box checked. And then there's the pay. Oh, let me move back here. And then again, there's the PayPal option here. You'll know this before you start setting up your event. And I encourage you to write out your plan. So everything from thank you for registering, when to be here. I like to write that all out in a Word document or some type of text format before I open my event. It makes the decision-making process. There'll be enough decisions you need to make on the fly. But if you know this stuff ahead of time, let's say 80, 90%, it makes your job more enjoyable and time productive. Social proof, who else is going to be there here? It doesn't matter how many degrees you have, how much money a person makes. Matter of fact, there's studies that made years ago, a book came out called The Millionaire Next Door. The higher you go up the economics chain, the more influence peer recognition becomes. If somebody's a millionaire, billionaire, and they're buying a Learjet or another limousine, the more likely they are to look for a reference point. So Warren Buffett may say to Bill Gates, who bought your fleet of airplanes? How are you doing this more than they are to look at a coupon? But college kids, fraternity, sporting events, T-shirts. These are all examples of human needs for social proof and recognition. Tap into that and use that. Make it work for you. This is neat. This is a very good client of mine, Brett Barker and his wife Holly. They own Anytime Fitness Studio in Canada. And when you set up the event, consider who it's from. Okay, and now you can do that. I'm working with a theater group that's tied in with the high school. Most of the emails will come from the art and theater department, but occasionally a message can come from the artistic director, where this guy has a personality. On some occasions, the message can come from the superintendent of schools. So consider who it's coming from. Most of us, my information comes from Derek at Road Marketing Systems. Occasionally those will get reversed, or if it's with Constant Contact, it will be Constant Contact. But I am my own brand, so people recognize that name. In this case here, it's coming from Anytime Fitness, the people locally as a franchisee. They understand that, and they're announcing spring has arrived. They say later that there's a special promotion. They say there's 5 days left, 3 days left, 1 day left. The colors have been matched. The recognition that they're one of the best franchises, one of the best places to work. The tagline here, the location, the numbers to call, all of these points are included and not forgotten. Here's another one here about making social proof here of in this case, it's a charitable program. People understand that. They recognize the logo as this being a good thing. The opportunity to share on social media. The average person has, the numbers keep going up, but if I said only 250, it might be 350. But if somebody's able to share, hey, I'm going to this fundraising event, or I'm going to this really cool boat show, airplane show, you name it, that now goes on their timeline, and it's shared, whether it be LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, there's any number of platforms that this can be shared. And there'll be more in the future, and that's okay. That's now free advertising that you get. And not only is it free, but it's referral. So look to doing that. The more likely somebody shares that they're going, the more likely they're actually to attend. If you're looking for more people to attend, buy, share, recognize that, and don't miss that opportunity. It gets your names out there. It increases attendance. It increases the efficacy of people actually being there. Share that information across all your social media platforms. We can show you how to do that where it's automatically done, where it's posted, it's shared. So you take the same content, the same good idea, the same links, but you put it out there like a spider's web to market your programs and your campaigns. Now think beyond the event. So remember, I said it's like 3 of the triangle. There's before, there's everything that happens in the promotion. I think of marriage. Okay, there's everything that happens in a person's life up until the time they get married. Their experiences, good, bad, everything that comes. And then the wedding itself is like a day. And then there's ideally a lifetime of everything else that happens. So before, during, and after. So think beyond the event itself, that you have the logistics, you're growing your list. Even the people who don't attend should hear about it afterwards. They should be thinking, I'd like to attend an event in the future. The number of guests that you have, session options, event-specific information, how is that used? We talked about that, chicken, fish, steak, tacos, whatever, spaghetti, mastacholi, and payment method. This is all valuable information. If you'll know better how to set up your menu in the future based on what people are actually doing. If nobody's checking off fish, I got a delicious bass, or whatever. It's a line from a movie, Napoleon Dynamite. I caught you a delicious bass. The guy said, the young man said to his prospective girlfriend. Okay, it's not that funny. Sorry. Okay. Payment method. This is now information you can use to better determine your location, your venue, your event. Payment and donation options matter. check or credit card, automatic deposit. Uh, is this a one-time payment or is there a continuity payment? A lot of people have worked it this way where they go, how about $100 donation? Uh, or how about $12 a month? Oh, okay, well, $12 and stop at any time. Well, the average donation, I think, will keep it like 8 months before they stop. And some people never. They just keep going. So what's your methodology in doing that? Online payment methods, we've talked about PayPal, or do they pay at the door? I have a client who has a dance group, a social dance group tends to be for single retirees, and he charges $15 at the door. What I am really, really trying to encourage him to do is, yeah, it's $15 at the door, is to charge 15, because he says, I don't want people complaining about increasing prices. I go, well, you want to increase your revenue, okay? So getting people to show up and they pay $15 in advance online, so it's more likely to be there. They have a partner, they're more likely to be there, and $20 at the door. So it's not like he's increasing the price, but he's encouraging people to pay ahead of time. Now, if they don't show, he may or may not be able to keep that money, but it's going to increase his revenue. He's going to have less cash on hand for theft reasons and things of that nature. Not a big risk in his business, but a concern. And he'll know in terms of how much food, how much other things to serve, sound of music, location, what's available, and the number of attendees. I will back up for 1 minute, guys. So you have your payment options at the door. Can you see how just changing some of these can go from an event that's mediocre to being super successful? Payment are in addition, so if you have 68 attendees that are paying with check or credit card versus 32 attendees, processors versus pay at the door. And you can drive this so that it suits the mechanics, it's user-friendly for your attendees, and it operates in best business practices for how you can proceed forward. Payment options, pay at the door, attendees, look at those numbers. Now, post-event actions and follow-ups. Surveys can be very, very good for this. I prepared one recently that said, what do you think is the greatest strength? Where do you believe there's the opportunity of improvement? Do you think, and this was a tough one here, but I said, do you believe the qualities of events over the past year is trending up or trending down? Okay, I think I knew what the answer was, but to report it back to the people gently, I wanted to phrase it. I could have said, was your perception on a scale of 1 to 10? There's different ways to do that, but to just keep it simple so you can get prime indicators of what people are saying. It's also really important to say thank you for after the event. Thank you for attending. There's so much time and attention, and we know that right now. We got to keep talking fast. We got to do it because people are distracted. There's other competitive desires for time and attention. This is worth looking at really closely, and this is worth the price of admission right here. This is one that my company did for the Ann and Robert Lurie Children's Hospital in Chicago. This is right near Navy Pier, if you've ever been to downtown Chicago. Now, we're in Michigan, but this is a cool account. And it's the subject line, you're invited to the 2016 Employee Volunteer Service Banquet. Long subject line, but this is working very well in this environment here. They have their logo, they have the time, the place, the date, the clear information, and the RSVP. We talk about this, the call to action, the CTA as it may be, call to action, is above the fold. So on your invitation or in newspapers or in a scroll, there's above the fold, let's see if I'm getting it right, and then there's below the fold. So here you can't see what's going on until you scroll up. That was the case. We didn't spend a lot of money on special effects here. Have that above the scroll so they can reserve. The further down they have to scroll on a mobile device, the less likely they are to take action. And you should already know this, guys. Over 50% of your people are reading their emails, and this is young, old, everything here, on their smartphone devices. So make sure that's friendly and optimized. You do not have to pay extra for that. We do home office charges, I think $197 for that if they still do it. We do it for $47. just get a second one. And oh, by the way, you can reuse that. Review the stats. How many people, how many guest registrations. For some people, your event, it's actually more valuable to do it just to get the guest registrations. If you have 4 people who are clients, but you now have 7 guests, you now almost doubled your prospect opportunity. Now, you could add zeros to those, but everything can work in harmony. Collect pictures and videos. This is that guy, Wayne is his name, who has the Premier Dance Connection. We doubled his open rate because he took one picture and his subject line was, after his event, was, "Are you in this picture?" Then we did another one that said, "Should you be in this picture?" And then later he started taking multiple pictures. You can overuse that, but the social demand of somebody going, "Was my picture included in there?" I mean, who doesn't have that experience as a kid with a yearbook or something saying, "Am I in here?" And it creates people looking. Now, if your people are good at donating, they're good at attending, and you're doing the photo thing, get a picture taken. It doesn't, have them take selfies and send them to you and post that. It doesn't cost any extra to do that, and you will open your open rate like you would not believe. Have them be posted on social media, tweets over time. Review your media activity, Joe, Mel, Kim, etc. After the event, you can get feedback. We talked about collecting event data and registration. What's the event data and registration? A good follow-up question is very important. Very smart person said, the quality of our lives is determined by the quality of our questions. Who should I marry? How many children should we have? Okay, there's a different philosophical, deeper thing. But what did you like most about the event? What do you think that could be improved? Ask those questions so you get feedback. I've had some clients who've done a great job where they do a video like this and they said, "We're going to send you a survey information and I will personally review." And I will, by the way. If you send me an email, you give a response, I will personally read it. I will personally respond to you and give you the information that you need. So not my client does that in his business. Rarely is it done. I do that all the time. To me, it's just common sense, a nice thing. But the person on the other end of the screen and the viewer don't know that. And I know some of you recognize that. Wayne, you understand. Dana, you understand. Okay? Yeah, okay. Thanks for the feedback. Get feedback and surveys here. Very satisfied, somewhat satisfied, neutral response, satisfaction score. And let them know on a scale of 1 to 10. So they know 10 is good. 1 is on the lower end of the scale, or, sounds simple, but explain that. Get feedback if they'd like a different time, a different place, the venue, the type of entertainment. Was the music too loud? Was it too soft? Did they play too long? Did they not play enough? Speaking programs of interest. What did you like? I'm doing that right now with the local theater group, where it's like, do we do more comedians? Do we do family-friendly events? Do we do musical, classical, live entertainment? Who do we consider having a warm-up act? These are things we can get feedback and information on. Demographics, even just getting, depending on if it's an online, do you get their area code? Their zip code can tell you a lot of information. Collecting some in a business-to-business environment, somebody's email address is imperative, but even collecting their website. Most people are happy to put their website information. Once you have their website, that now becomes a reflection of their entire business, and there's a lot of information you don't have to collect if you have their website. The number of newsletter signups that you have becomes important information. If you're able to increase your list by 50%, you can now increase your business by 50%, and 50% increase in business may mean doubling your profits because overhead costs and everything. So we do that in a cost even break-even analysis, but do the math. A bigger foundation, you can build a bigger business, better profits, and have more events and do the things that you're very good at and you want to do more of. Here's your checklist. Again, I won't go through everything on there, but make sure your host organization is located, not just your logo. So you can have your logo and maybe the venue of the logo that you have, the location that you have. And this can be cool. Sometimes you're trading, even small organizations, you say, hey, we're having a meeting at the Panera Bread or at the Starbucks. Well, now you can use those locations, and people may go, oh, well, that's cool. I get to go to Starbucks, or I get to go to Panera Bread, or I get to go to this uh, uh, Spirit Hall or the special event. That now can become as much of an attraction as the main event. Include the date, time, locations, please, the email. Sign up should be obvious and above the scroll line. Remember this thing here? Above the scroll line. Above, not below. Don't give details that distract from sign up. Yeah, don't halfway down say, oh, share this on Facebook. Sign up, register. Now share it on Facebook. Put it on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Periscope. Let's not get confused. Reminder email, confirmation email is very, very important. I am a big believer in the confirm email. You know, on the webinars, it varies, but there's usually 3 warm-up. There's one the day before, there's one the morning of, an hour before, and often 5 minutes. And reasonable people do not get distracted or do not get annoyed by that. Matter of fact, they appreciate it because they've got a lot of things going, and we need reminding. I was really irritated. I signed up for a webinar actually via social media, via Facebook post, which I had never done before. I opted in. They had download information, but I was at home. I didn't want to download it, and I was on my iPad, so it wasn't like I could print it, or it wasn't convenient for me to do that. And I assumed that I included my email information. I assumed I would get a registration and at least one reminder the next day. I never got it. This was a free event. I'm sure they were going to try to sell something, and I would have wanted to buy in a lot of instances, but so they're disappointed because they're going, well, somebody signed up and they didn't show, but I'm just as disappointed. So we need to do the marketing. Go back and again send the thank you. And if you consider this a shopping list, and you do everything on here, you're going to be better than 80 or 90% of the people who are winging it and think they're experienced and assuming and not getting the results that they want to get. We're at about the top of the hour here. So you have online registration form, keep it simple, promote, and here's what you do. Now, for the big crescendo here, what do you do to learn more? Our website, Rogue, it's Rogue, like Renegade or Rogue, not Rouge, marketingsystems.com. You could find out all sorts of cool stuff. There's free downloads, there's information, there's other webinars there. There's free resources that you can get a hold of. Our contact information, you can do that. But now what do you do? Here's what you do, because I'd like to talk to you. Many are invited, few are accepted, and I think that can be you. Have a childhood hero here, Bruce Lee, great entertainer, writer, philosopher, movie star, martial artist, who just trained with such enthusiasm for everything he did. And he said, knowing is not enough. We must be willing to apply. A few things are more annoying than somebody says, oh, I know that. You go, well, show me, demonstrate it. It's like a kid saying, I know how to tie my shoe. Well, tie your shoe. Okay, you tied it. Have an event. Do it. If you need some help, we'll help. So knowing is not enough. You must be willing to apply. Willing is not enough. You must do. So if you're willing, now you must actually take action. Do that. Here's a special offer we have. In the old days, there was because this is within the context of Constant Contact, there was an offer for new subscribers, and they would get a free account, whatever, for 30 days, 60 days, and then current subscribers and veterans got nothing. And somebody complained to me. They said, wait a minute, I've been a good customer. I go, you're absolutely right. So a new sign up, we do a few extra sign up things, but if you're current, you get the same deal. Just contact us. There's the $47 mobile optimized deal. That's only if you register in the next day or two. The link will pop up in a second, or it may be right down below, but it should be. Hopefully that plumbing is just fine here. The 30-minute call with me is absolutely free. I have an agenda. It's not a sales pitch. It's an agenda, and it's right on there of we can do a screen share. We can do 7 of the most frequently missed profit opportunities, analytics, and everything. But if you have other specific questions, and this is on a limited basis and only a limited time, I'm happy to invest in your time. Tell me your success stories. Tell me your challenges. If you're actually doing something and moving and shaking, I want to know you. And you're passionate about what you do. I don't mean passionate like Nobel Prize winning, save the earth. That's you. That's great. Uh, but if you really believe in what you do is good for your best prospects, good for your clients, and you have the energy, then we're kindred spirits. If you're just doing your job or punching your clock or impressing the boss or something, then don't waste your time or mine. I want people who are moving, who are taking action, who will take this and apply it. You'll get the link to my appointment calendar. You do this today or tomorrow. There's a deadline. The appointment, I think you're allowed to schedule 5-10 days out, subject to my availability, but pick the time and we'll talk. Again, here's the promotion of what we have. That's there. The link is also at Rogue Marketing Systems, so we have the big promise there. And we have the event here. I will come back to this here, but this is my information, Derek Freund, Outsourced Chief Marketing Officer. We do this. Constant contact, authorized local experts, all the credentials there. My email address, that information. So God bless you. Appreciate you being on here. That pop-up here will show momentarily. And we don't have music to queue up. Queue up some of your favorite tunes there and the rhythms and the rhymes and the soundtrack of our lives. God bless you. Talk to you and you and you and that guy over there and the person who's getting their coffee over there. Talk to you really soon. Thank you.